become so focused they have no choice but to notice or listen to me. Most people are out there trying to be seen, trying to be liked, trying to get attention from everyone around them. They're chasing validation like it's oxygen. But here's the truth. The people who win in life don't chase attention. They attract it. And you don't attract it by begging, by proving yourself to everyone, by wasting your time wondering if they're clapping for you. You attract it by becoming undeniable, by being so damn focused, so relentless, so committed to your growth, that the world can't ignore you even if they try. Focus is your superpower. Focus is the difference between a life of distraction and a life of destiny. Think about it. When you're distracted, when your energy is scattered, when you're giving a piece of yourself to everyone else's drama, their opinion, their judgment, you lose yourself. You're not building, you're not growing, you're not stepping into the person you're meant to be. But when you decide, enough, I'm locking in, I'm building me. I'm putting my energy where it actually matters, everything shifts. You've got to stop living like your future is optional. Stop treating your dreams like a side hustle. Your future demands your full attention, your full fire, your full commitment. The reason most people never rise above average is because they never master focus. They dabble, they start and stop. They get excited for 2 weeks and then quit. Winners don't dabble. Winners lock in. They become obsessed. They narrow their vision until nothing else exists except what they're building. You want people to notice you. Then stop chasing them and start building results so undeniable that they have no choice but to notice. Success speaks louder than your words ever could. If you keep running after approval, you'll always be behind. But if you lock in and build yourself, the right people, the right opportunities, the right respect, they'll find you. They won't just notice you, they'll want to be around you, they'll need what you bring to the table. Let me be real with you, focus isn't easy. Everything in the world is designed to steal your attention. Your phone, social media, other people's drama, the lies in your own head telling you you're not ready. But the moment you take back control of your focus, you take back your power, and power is what changes lives. Decide right now, what's the thing you've been procrastinating on? What's the thing you know could change your life if you gave it 100%? Why are you waiting? Why are you letting fear and distraction rob you of your greatness? You don't need more time. You need more focus. You don't need permission. You need decision. If you want to change your life, you need intensity. You need obsession. You need to wake up every day with clarity about what you're building and then attack it like your life depends on it. Because it does. Because the difference between you living a life of regret and you living a life of legacy is whether you master your focus. When you get so focused that you cut out the noise, you become dangerous. You become unstoppable. People will try to distract you, they'll try to pull you back, they'll tell you you're too intense. But that's the point. You're not here to blend in. You're not here to live like everybody else. You're here to step into your full power, your full potential, your full greatness. So here's the challenge. Starting today, stop giving your energy to things that don't build you. Stop scattering your focus. Stop begging for attention. Instead, put all that energy into building yourself so strong, so skilled, so disciplined, so powerful that the world can't help but notice. Because here's the truth. When you become undeniable, they can't ignore you. When you become unshakable, they can't move you. When you become focused, they can't compete with you. And when you live like that, you stop chasing and you start leading. Listen to me. This is the single greatest truth about your life. Focus is power. Focus determines everything. Where your focus goes, your life flows. Most people don't get this. They think their life is defined by circumstances, luck, the economy, their upbringing. No. Your life is defined by what you consistently focus on. Think about it. Whatever you give your attention to grows. Whatever you feed with your energy expands. If you focus on fear, you live in fear. If you focus on opportunity, you find opportunity. If you focus on problems, you drown in problems. If you focus on solutions, you create progress. That's not some motivational quote. That's life. Here's the problem. Most people have no control over their focus. Their mind is like a flashlight with a broken switch, bouncing around from one thing to the next. One moment they're focused on a goal. The next moment they're scrolling on their phone. One moment they're excited about building their future, the next moment they're consumed with what someone said about them. And then they wonder why they feel stuck, why they feel powerless. But here's the truth: you are the one holding the switch. You decide what you focus on. You decide whether your energy is scattered in a million directions or channeled like a laser. And here's what I know: when you focus your energy like a laser, you become unstoppable. Let me give it to you straight. Focus creates momentum. Imagine driving a car. If you're swerving all over the road, braking every 2 seconds, you're not going anywhere fast. But when you lock in, hands steady on the wheel, eyes fixed on the destination, you move, and you move with speed. That's your life. When you focus, your life accelerates. And listen, focus isn't about ignoring reality. It's about deciding what deserves your energy, because everything is fighting for it. Social media is fighting for it. Netflix is fighting for it. People who don't believe in you are fighting for it. The little voice in your head that tells you you're not enough is fighting for it. Every single day you're in a battle for your focus. If you don't control it, life will control it for you. You've got to make a decision. What's the vision? What's the standard? What's the life you're building? And then you've got to lock your focus there every single day. When your mind wants to drift, bring it back. When your emotions want to distract you, anchor back in. When the world tries to pull you off track, fight for your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. Here's the magic: when you master your focus, you master your emotions. And when you master your emotions, you master your life. You stop reacting to every little thing. You stop living at the mercy of other people's opinions. You stop letting circumstances control your state. You start creating, you start building, you start leading, but don't confuse focus with perfection. Focus doesn't mean you'll never get distracted. You will. The difference is how fast you bring yourself back. Average person gets distracted and stays off course for days, weeks, months. A focused person gets distracted, notices it, and snaps right back to the mission. That's the difference between average and extraordinary. So let me challenge you right now. Where has your focus been? Be honest. Have you been focusing on what you lack instead of what you can create? Have you been focusing on who left you instead of who you're becoming? Have you been focusing on the distractions, the noise, the drama, instead of your vision? Because wherever your focus has been, that's why your life looks the way it does right now. And here's the best part: if you don't like where your life is flowing, you can change it by changing your focus. Shift it today. Put your energy into growth, into discipline, into action, into building something real, into becoming the person you know you were meant to be. Because at the end of the day, this is the truth: focus is power. It's the most valuable resource you have, and when you take control of it, when you channel it, when you protect it from distraction, you take control of your entire life. Most of you aren't tired because life is hard. You're tired because you're leaking energy everywhere. You're chasing too many things. You're saying yes to everything. You're giving your time to people and places that don't move you closer to your vision. You're scattering your energy, and then you wonder why you feel burned out, frustrated, stuck. Here's the truth: it's not a lack of potential that's killing you. It's a lack of focus and consistency. Potential is worthless if you spread it too thin. Imagine trying to light a fire with a magnifying glass. If you keep moving it around every second, you'll never create enough heat to start the flame. But if you hold it steady, focused on one spot, boom, fire. That's the difference between people who struggle all their lives and people who create unstoppable momentum. Most people dabble. They start something, get excited for a week, then drop it when it gets tough. They set a goal, then change it when they don't see results fast enough. They want 10 different things at the same time, and they wonder why they never master any of them. Scattered energy creates scattered results. Let me be direct with you: clarity and consistency are the keys to power. Clarity means you know exactly what you want. Not vague idea, not "I just want to be successful." No, what does success look like for you? What's the picture? What's the standard? What's the outcome that excites you and scares you at the same time? Because until you get crystal clear, you'll keep drifting, and then comes consistency. That's the hard part. Everyone loves the idea of transformation. Everyone loves the energy of day 1. But champions are built in day 50, day 100, day 300. When no one's cheering, when no one's watching, when no one's giving you validation. That's where consistency separates the dreamer from the doers. You've got to stop chasing instant gratification. You've got to stop expecting your life to change because you had one good day of effort. Change doesn't come from intensity once in a while. It comes from consistency over time, small daily disciplines, showing up when you don't feel like it, doing the work when it's boring. That's how you build momentum, and momentum is everything. Once you have it, it's like a snowball rolling downhill. It gets bigger, it gets faster, it gets harder to stop. Momentum makes discipline easier. Momentum makes confidence natural. Momentum makes progress inevitable, but without it, every day feels like pushing a boulder uphill. Here's the deal. You don't need to do everything. You need to do the right things consistently. Stop trying to be everywhere. Stop trying to please everyone. Stop trying to master 10 skills at once. Pick the few things that truly matter, the things that align with your vision, the things that will move the needle in your life. Then pour yourself into them, ruthlessly, obsessively, consistently. And listen, consistency doesn't mean perfection. Some of you beat yourself up because you miss a day, you fall off track, you mess up. That's not failure. Failure is quitting. Consistency is about showing back up again and again, no matter how many times you get knocked off course. The most successful people in the world aren't perfect. They're persistent. They keep moving even when it's messy, even when it's hard, even when it feels hopeless. So I want you to ask yourself, where are you scattering your energy? Where are you wasting time on things that don't matter? Where are you starting and stopping instead of committing and building? Be honest, because your honesty will set you free. And then I want you to decide what's the one thing, the one mission, the one outcome that deserves your focus right now. Lock in on it. Block out the noise. Eliminate the distractions. Build consistency like your life depends on it. Because it does. Because here's the truth. Clarity and consistency create momentum, and momentum creates transformation. When you stop scattering your energy and you start building with relentless focus, you become unstoppable. Chasing people for respect will drain your soul. Some of you are out there begging for people to notice you, to validate you, to finally give you that pat on the back. And it's exhausting, isn't it? Because no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you bend yourself out of shape, they still don't see you the way you want to be seen. And here's why. Respect doesn't come from begging, it comes from building. Respect isn't given to those who chase. It's earned by those who grow. You see, when you chase, you put yourself beneath them. You hand them your power. You say, please see me. Please love me. Please value me. And in that moment, you give them control over your worth. But when you grow, when you develop yourself, when you sharpen your skills, when you raise your standards, you take back that power. Because then respect isn't something you ask for. It's something people have no choice but to give. Think about it. The people you respect most in your life, did they chase you down for your approval? Did they beg you to see their value? No, they built themselves. They grew into people of substance. They created results. They lived with integrity. They carried themselves with strength. And because of that, they earned your respect without asking. This is the shift you need to make right now. Stop begging and start building. Stop chasing and start growing. Because when you grow, everything changes. When you grow, your confidence changes. You no longer walk into a room hoping people will like you. You walk in knowing who you are, knowing what you bring, knowing your worth. That energy is magnetic. People feel it without you saying a word. When you grow, your results change. You're not just talking anymore. You're producing. You're creating, you're achieving, and results speak louder than any words ever could. Results demand respect. When you grow, your standards change. You stop tolerating the nonsense, the disrespect, the games. You set boundaries. You live by your values, and people notice that. They might not always like it, but they respect it. Here's the hard truth. Some of you are chasing because you don't believe you're enough. You think if you just win their approval, then you'll finally feel valuable. But that's backwards. Value doesn't come from outside. It comes from the inside. You've got to grow into the kind of person you respect first. Only then will others follow and listen. Growth isn't easy, it's uncomfortable. It requires discipline. It requires sacrifice. It requires you to face your fears, to break your patterns, to do the work when no one's watching. But let me ask you this. What's more painful, the temporary discomfort of growth, or the lifelong pain of chasing respect you'll never truly earn? You want to flip the script, focus on growth. Build yourself into someone of such depth, such strength, such resilience that people can't help but notice. Develop your mind, sharpen your skills, strengthen your body, expand your heart. Become someone who brings value wherever you go. Respect isn't given to those who chase. It's earned by those who grow. So grow until your presence speaks louder than your words. Grow until your results silence every doubt. Grow until the respect you were chasing starts chasing you. Neediness kills power. When you walk through life desperate for people's attention, desperate for their approval, desperate for their validation, you weaken yourself. You make yourself small. You put yourself in a position where you're always at the mercy of what other people think of you. And let me tell you something, the world doesn't reward neediness, it rewards value. Look around you, who gets promoted, who gets chosen, who gets remembered. It's not the person crying out, please notice me. It's the person who creates impact. It's the person who adds value. It's the person who invests in becoming extraordinary. That's who the world notices. Neediness pushes people away. Have you felt it? Someone comes at you, desperate, clingy, trying to force your attention. And immediately, your guard goes up. You don't respect it. You don't admire it. You want distance from it. But when someone stands in their power, when they radiate value, when they don't need you, but they can offer something powerful to the world, you lean in. You want to be around them. You want to follow them. This is the difference between chasing and building. Chasing is fueled by neediness. Building is fueled by value. When you chase, you're screaming, I need you to complete me. When you build, you're saying, I am whole, I am strong, and I have something to give. Which one do you think earns respect? Here's the mindset shift. Stop focusing on what you can get and start focusing on what you can give. Because people aren't drawn to need, they're drawn to value. You want more opportunities, become more valuable. You want deeper relationships, bring more to the table. You want more respect. Earn it by showing up as someone who contributes, who builds, who grows. And I don't mean value in just money or status. I'm talking about real value. Your presence, your energy, your knowledge, your character, your ability to lift others up. That's the kind of value people can't ignore. So ask yourself right now, what do I bring when I walk into a room? Do I bring energy or do I drain it? Do I bring solutions or do I bring problems? Do I bring confidence or do I bring neediness? Be brutally honest with yourself, because this is the mirror that changes lives. The world rewards value. That's why the highest achievers, the people we admire, the people who make history, they weren't the neediest, they were the ones who mastered their craft. They invested in their growth, they created results, they brought something powerful to the world. And because of that, respect, recognition, and influence followed them. Let me tell you, if you feel like people aren't seeing you, it's not because they're blind. It's because you're not showing up with enough value yet. And that's not a reason to be discouraged. It's a wake-up call. Because the moment you shift from chasing attention to building value, everything changes. You don't need to beg for opportunities when you become too valuable to be ignored. You don't need to chase love when you become someone who radiates strength, confidence, and presence. You don't need to fight for respect when you've grown into someone who earns it simply by who you are and what you do. This is the path. Drop the neediness, step into your power, and build value, because value is magnetic, value is irresistible, value is what transforms you from someone begging for attention into someone commanding respect. The world doesn't reward neediness, it rewards value. So stop asking, stop begging, stop chasing. And start building. Build yourself, build your strength, build your knowledge, build your presence, build so much value that the world has no choice but to notice you. Respect is not something you demand with your voice, it's something you earn with your life. You don't get respect by pounding your chest, by shouting louder, or by saying, you better respect me. Respect doesn't respond to entitlement. It responds to growth, to discipline, to the way you show up every single day. When you demand respect without earning it, you're living in a fantasy. But when you grow yourself, when you sharpen your mind, when you discipline your body, when you develop the character that refuses to quit, that's when people start to look at you differently. That's when respect comes, not because you asked for it, but because you've become someone worthy of it. Think about it. Do you respect the person who talks big but never follows through? No. You respect the person who's consistent. The one who does what they say, the one who shows up when it's hard, the one who pushes through when everybody else quits. That's the foundation of respect. It's not about words, it's about action. And here's the raw truth. Growth is uncomfortable, discipline is painful, but without them, you will never earn the respect you crave. People can sense when you're living with excuses. They can smell when you're not committed, and they can see when you're playing small. Respect doesn't grow in that environment. Respect grows in the soil of sacrifice, consistency, and relentless growth. You want respect, earn it in the dark. When nobody's watching, earn it at 5 a.m. When you're up working while everyone else is asleep. Earn it when you choose discipline over comfort, when you say no to the easy path, when you show up for yourself day after day after day. That's when respect is born, because you become undeniable. Let me ask you, how many times have you wanted people to notice your potential, but you weren't actually cultivating it? Potential doesn't earn respect. Discipline does, growth does, transformation does. When you grow yourself into someone unrecognizable from who you were a year ago, that's when people pay attention. That's when respect finds you. The truth is, you can't cheat your way to respect. You can't fake it. You can't pretend discipline. You can't shortcut growth. Respect comes from results, and results come from habits. The question is, what habits are you living with right now? Do they scream discipline, or do they scream comfort? Do they push you forward, or do they keep you safe and stagnant? You've got to make a decision today. Stop chasing respect with your words and start building it with your actions. Because when you live in discipline, when you invest in growth, when you hold yourself to a higher standard, people can't help but respect you. Even your critics will feel it. They may not like you, but they'll respect the fact that you're not ordinary, that you're not sloppy, that you're not living like everyone else. And listen, this is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about proving to yourself day after day that you are stronger than your excuses, that you are committed to the higher version of yourself, that you will not settle for average when you know greatness is inside you. Respect doesn't live in the words, "Look at me." Respect lives in the discipline of, "I'll show you." Respect lives in the growth that says, "Watch who I become." Respect lives in the consistency that turns ordinary into extraordinary. Stop demanding what you haven't earned. Start growing. Start disciplining your mind, your body, your habits, your emotions. When you do, you won't have to ask for respect. It will follow you. It will surround you. It will be undeniable, because respect isn't demanded, it's earned. And the only path to earning it is through relentless growth and unshakable discipline. Most of you are running around like your life is a constant pursuit. You're chasing people, you're chasing approval, you're chasing opportunities, you're chasing love, you're chasing success. And the whole time you're exhausted, you're drained, you're giving all your energy away, hoping someone or something will finally validate you. But here's the truth, chasing energy repels. It pushes people away. It screams desperation, and people can feel it even if you don't say a word. You've been there. You can sense when someone wants something from you, and what do? You pull back. That's exactly what happens when you live your life chasing. Now flip it. Imagine you stop chasing. Imagine instead you start building. You start working on you. You put your head down and invest in your growth, your discipline, your focus, your mission. You're no longer running after people. You're running after your purpose. And something magical happens. People start noticing. Opportunities start finding you. The energy shifts, and suddenly, instead of pushing things away, you're pulling them toward you. Why? Because attraction is built on power, not desperation. Attraction comes from alignment, not from begging. When you're living in your power, when you're focused on growth, when you're disciplined and consistent, people feel it, they're drawn to it, they want to be around it, they want to work with you, love you, support you, follow you. Think about a fire. When you light a fire and it burns bright, you don't have to chase anyone to come see it. People see the light from miles away. They feel the warmth. They're attracted to it. That's what happens when you stop chasing and start building. You become that fire. You become undeniable. Here's the raw truth. Chasing comes from fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of missing out. Fear of not being enough. Fear of not getting your shot. But when you build yourself, when you grow into someone powerful, you replace fear with certainty. You don't need to chase because you know what's meant for you will be pulled into your orbit. And don't misunderstand me. This isn't about sitting back and waiting for life to deliver you everything. No, this is about action, but it's focused action. It's not running after everyone's approval. It's running after your vision. It's putting in the work that makes you magnetic. The relationships you want, they come when you stop begging and start becoming. The opportunities you're after, they appear when you stop chasing shortcuts and start mastering your craft. The respect you crave, it arrives when you stop asking for it and start earning it through discipline. People chase because they believe something outside of them holds the key to their happiness, but the truth, the key has always been inside you. When you chase, you give your power away. When you grow, when you focus, when you build, you take your power back. And that power is what draws the right people and opportunities into your life. Look at your own life. Right now, where are you chasing? Who are you running after, hoping they'll finally give you the recognition you want? What opportunities are you trying to force instead of building yourself into someone those opportunities can't ignore? Be honest with yourself, because the first step to shifting your energy is awareness. You've got to stop telling yourself the lie that if you just chase harder, you'll finally get what you want. No, the harder you chase, the further it runs. But the moment you stop, the moment you turn inward and build, the moment you invest in your growth, you flip the dynamic, you stop repelling and you start attracting. That's the game changer. That's the shift. That's the secret nobody wants to tell you. Because chasing is easy. It feels like you're doing something, but it's powerless. Building is harder, but it's powerful. It requires patience, consistency, sacrifice, but that's the path to attraction. So here's your challenge. Stop chasing. Stop running after people, after validation, after quick wins. Decide today that you're going to build yourself into someone they can't ignore. Because when you do, you'll never have to chase again. Everything you thought you had to run after will find its way to you. When you stop chasing, you start attracting. That's not just a phrase. It's a law of life. Your life is not limited by your potential. It's limited by your focus. I don't care how talented you are. I don't care how much potential you've got inside you. If your energy is scattered, if your attention is divided, you're going to feel weak. You're going to feel stuck. You're going to live your life with this deep frustration inside you because you know there's more in you. But you can't touch it. You can't channel it because your energy is leaking in 1,000 directions. Focus creates power. When you take the same amount of energy you've been wasting and you compress it, you aim it, you direct it toward one mission, one goal, one vision, you become unstoppable. That's not hype, that's physics. Think of sunlight. Sunlight on its own is warm, it feels good, but it doesn't set anything on fire. But take that same light and put it through a magnifying glass, it becomes concentrated. Suddenly it burns. That's the difference between living scattered and living focused. One feels good, the other changes everything. Most of you are living like a light bulb, not a laser. You've got all this energy, all this potential, but it's spread out. You're scrolling, you're comparing yourself, you're half in and half. Out of everything you do, you start one thing, then you stop. You get distracted. You let people pull you in 1,000 directions, and then you wonder why you feel drained, why you're not making progress, why your dreams still feel far away. It's because your energy is scattered. Here's the raw truth. Success doesn't come to the most talented. It doesn't come to the smartest. It doesn't even come to the hardest worker. It comes to the most focused. The person who decides, this is my mission. This is my standard. This is what I'm going to do, no matter what. And they channel everything into it. That person builds momentum. That person builds power. That person becomes unstoppable. And I know some of you right now are thinking, but I've got so many things I want to do. I've got so many responsibilities. How can I focus on one thing? Let me break it down for you. I'm not saying abandon your responsibilities. I'm saying you need to prioritize. You need to decide what matters most. Because when everything is a priority, nothing is a priority. When you try to do everything, you end up doing nothing with excellence. You want power, you want results, you want respect. Then stop scattering yourself thin. Choose your mission, lock in on it, put blinders on, say no to distractions, say no to things that don't serve your vision, and then pour everything you've got into what matters most. That's how power is built. Think about water. A river flows wide and shallow. It spreads everywhere, but dam it up, build pressure, direct it. It generates electricity. It lights up entire cities. That's the power of focus. The same water that trickles in 1,000 directions can become unstoppable when it's directed. Your life works the same way. The power you're looking for is already inside you. It's just being wasted on things that don't matter. You've got to reclaim that energy. You've got to cut off the leaks. That means being ruthless about your habits. That means protecting your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. And here's what happens when you get focused. You stop doubting yourself. You stop overthinking. You stop comparing, because focus brings clarity, and clarity brings confidence. You wake up every day knowing exactly where your energy is going, exactly what you're building, exactly what matters, and that certainty changes how you walk, how you talk, how you show up in every room. People feel it. They respect it. They get drawn to it. But scattered energy, it kills everything. It kills your confidence. It kills your momentum. It kills your power. You feel busy, but you're not effective. You feel exhausted, but you've got nothing to show for it. And deep down, you know you're capable of more. That's why you feel frustrated. So let me ask you, what would change in your life if you decided right here, right now to focus? What if you stopped trying to do 10 things and committed to mastering one? What if you cut the distractions, cut the noise, and directed your energy like a laser? How much progress would you make in the next 6 months? The next year? How much power would you reclaim? This is your wake-up call. Stop scattering. Stop leaking. Stop giving your power away to things that don't matter. Take that same energy, that same potential, and compress it. Channel it, direct it. Because focus creates power, and scattered energy destroys it.